I couldn't do it. Intro rolls again. How sweet it is to be loved by you nerds. What is up? It's me, your buddy pal HeyArcher. Welcome back to HeyArcher Live here on Nerd Affiliated. I couldn't do it. I was gonna like cut the intro short. I was like, it's part of who we are. I'll figure something out. You don't care about that, but maybe you do care about that. Actually, Patrick cared about that in the comments in the last video. But nonetheless, this is your weekly, or did I even say who I am? It's me, your buddy pal HeyArcher. Welcome back to HeyArcher Live here on Nerd Affiliated. You're here for your Thursday night nerdy talk show where we sit back and relax. Where we sit back and relax. And hopefully by now you've poured yourself a little bit.
More specifically, vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
You know, the only thing I hate about this mug is like the design's only on one side. So if I want to show you guys the design, I can't. Or I gotta drink this way, but then the mic's in the way. It's a whole thing. It's a whole mess. But yes, you're here because the outside world rejects you. I forgot what I used to say. This is your family. I'm your nerd. I can't remember what I used to say. I used to say that in the intro. It's fine. It's all right. We're a mess. It's okay. It's cool. Anyway, we have a lot to talk about. Spirit Halloween finally made their Tariff thoughts known, which is interesting. And we'll talk about some box office battles happening this weekend. I didn't even realize there was more than one thing coming out this weekend. But hey, without further ado, I almost spilled this drink doing the drum roll. So I got one hand to do it. But let's bring in the man, the myth, the legend. It is me. Shout out to whoever gave the thumbs down. It is me. So happy to have you guys here with me tonight. And so happy to have you guys here with each other tonight. Always fun to do the show. I notice I have a stain on my shirt, which is also very on brand. So there's also that. But yeah, I really tried to ditch the intro. Really did. I was running late, and I'll get to the comments. I know you guys are talking about the start time. I was running late, but I was like, don't do it. Don't hit the button. Just hit go live. Just be a man. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So you guys have the intro one more time. I'll retire it at some point. I'm going to get the shameless plugs out the way, and then I'll say hi to all of you in the chat. Just to fly through it again. Nerdaffiliated.com, your one-stop shop for all things nerd affiliated. I thought I would have my newest samples in by now. I think they're delayed by like a day or so. So there'll be some new merch dropping here on the channel. If it arrives in time, I'll drop it for the weekend. I forgot that it was extended weekend. So, yeah, hopefully there's new merch to drop for that. If you're into the Ghostbusters side of things, there's, of course, therealnerdbusters.com, where you can find links to tools and talent props, where if you want to get yourself some cool mods, save yourself 10% with code HeyArcher. But if you want to talk to us in real time, you can always hit us up on Instagram, Nerd Affiliated, The Real Nerdbusters, and on TikTok, Nerd Affiliated as well. So there are the plugs. Let's say hi to everybody. Of course, Creativity from the Future in the house. Good to see you. Let's do this. Yeah. K-Wall Comedy in the house. Good to see you, Kathy. You had 8:18. I think that's when I started. So there is the delay from when I hit the button versus when you guys see it. So on my end, I think it was 8:18 because I just saw like that comment like kind of move on my screen. So you would win the day. You would win The Price is Right Ultra Carta in the house. Ultra Carter. I don't know why I said that so weird. I was trying to be Bostonian, I guess. Carta. Good to see you. Good to see you. Everybody saying hi to each other. 8:15-ish. Yep. I'm in the distance. The fear's taking over. That's me. That's me. Dada Films in the house. Good to see you. You know, I have still not created a some sort of trees button for you. I got to really work on that. I got to put on the list of things to do. You know what it is too? I gotta hit up Henry Resilient, because he's got like infinite sound bites or sound clips for his streams. I feel like if I had them digitally on the screen, it'd be too many buttons to look at and I have to scroll. But I use a Rodecaster and I only have eight triggers. So I got to figure out a way to incorporate some new ones, but also I'd want to get something for the trees in there too. So we'll see. We'll see. Man Collects in the house. Good to see you. Marsha in the house. Good to see you. Taking a break from the Edge, Metalingus, and singing Wardlow's This Is War theme. There you go. There you go. Love that. Love that. Love that. Love that. All right. So yeah. How are you guys doing? Are you guys excited for the weekend? Any fun plans for the weekend? Again, appreciate all that we have, even though things may seem rough, and they are rough for a lot of people right now. We still have to thank all those who paved the way for us to have our freedoms and all that stuff. So always remember those that helped us out on Memorial Day. But hopefully the weather is better by you guys than by us, because right now it's freaking, we had to turn the heat on. It's freaking, I thought it was snowing for a second. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. So hopefully by you guys, it's a little bit better. Little bit better. What am I missing here? Didn't even catch that. Wow. Wow. All right, let's get started. Let's get the show on the road. We're gonna head over to the gram. And this one was something I was yeah, I'm jealous. This one is something I was waiting for quite a bit. And there's one other company I was waiting for some news on, but did some digging, found out some information. Found out some information. So we'll talk about that in a bit. But Spirit Halloween finally addressing the tariffs. They were one that a lot of us were thinking about, because we buy a lot of Spirit Halloween stuff, not just before Halloween, but in their year-end sale or their season-end sale. It's usually how I buy my Ghostbusters stuff and buy all sorts of stuff. So I was worried about them in general, because I do know that they have crazy markups on things. At the same time, that also gives you kind of a buffer, because they do have crazy markups on things. So it's like, all right, maybe they could, withstand some of these tariff increases and whatnot. But, depending on where the tariffs were when it was time to order, that's where I was like, all right, are we going to get screwed this year or not? Not quite sure. But you see here on the screen, so far, the only disruption Spirit Halloween is talking about is for their grand opening event that they do at Egg Harbor every year. Egg Harbor Township. That is in New Jersey. Now, if you've not seen what that is, I'm going to actually click on my story to find that link so you can watch that video. So this comes courtesy of Disavowed Action Figures over on YouTube. Great toy hunter. Actually, I'm going to skip to this part here.
They have inside.
Our day begins at 6:30 a.m. outside of the road closed sign, where we're getting in line to get a lanyard to get into Spirit Halloween opening day kickoff at the flagship store. the event has grown to the point that they've had police here since last night. The line is all the way back there. Then there's turnstiles in the front of the store. It's gonna be worth it. So the back of the line moved pretty quick. We're almost at the wraparound section of the line. As you can see, that's the front up there. Quite a few turnstiles throughout the line there. So the story is at 7 a.m. they're gonna start moving this line forward that people can get their lanyards. First 200 people got a goodie bag. I didn't feel the need for any goodies. So I just wanted to get a decent number in line, so I'm not here until 5 p.m. waiting to get in. So it's about 6:49, 11 minutes from when they start giving out lanyards. The line is, I'd say, at least tripled from behind me, from where I started. It's all the way back, wrapping around that back part of the parking lot now. It's getting out of hand fast. I'm glad I'm up here.
Hey guys, anybody that parked in front of Restaurant Ecto, that's on the other side of the store. We have plenty of parking in the back here, so get your spot back in line. Far back.
And the emotion has begun, which means that the lanyards are being given out.
So I may not have done a good enough like lead into this. I kind of just jumped in, but this is the Egg Harbor event that they're not doing. That was in the post. And what happens is they go down. Well, they're there already, I guess, but they have their flagship store. If you don't know, a flagship store is usually like your marquee store in retail. Sometimes they have them like per region, per state, but a lot of times, from my experience, it's been regions. You have like a flagship store. In this case, it's company wide, where they have the flagship store down there in New Jersey. And that's where they would do their grand opening to kind of launch the year, but also for you to see all the new things that they have. So they, of course, showed things online, and they've, on Instagram, they've started showing more things. But this is your first time going to a store, go into the store, see everything they have to offer for the coming year. Now, this is the event that's not happening this year. This is the event that they just could not get their stuff in time to do. But I'm going to play this a little bit more, and then I will link it so you guys can finish this out, because it is pretty cool just to see like how the rest of the day plays out.
So see how long it takes us. It's about 7:02 a.m. right now from where I stand. I know better than all those people way back there wrapping around. So update, 7:17 a.m. We're just about inside the turnstiles. So we started to see significant moving about 5 minutes ago. We're going to get there. We're going to do it. The question is, what number?
Ooh. Not trying to get a copyright. Just gonna mute that for a second.
Movement. We're finally just walking the whole time. So we are getting there. We are getting there. I always feel like somebody's watching me. Like I get no privacy. Hello. Thank you. 7:39 a.m. We have our lanyard. We are at 636 for the Carnival. And we have a one-day only coupon. Now we can wait 2 hours till we actually can get it. Because the main event, 10 a.m. is the grand opening. And then we line up by number, basically.
So that's insane. This is all for Spirit Halloween. All of this is just for Spirit Halloween. Just to get a head start on the season, see what they have coming out, and just kind of enjoy the excitement leading up to Halloween. What I don't think a lot of people understand is an event like this not happening does damage to that area. Look how many people have come out to go to this event. How many people will probably get lunch in that area, maybe get breakfast in that area. How many people will go to the gas station in that area. All these employees that operate the venue, all the vendors that are setting up those tents, setting up the slides, all these things are connected. And by this one event not happening, all of that potentially stops. Because they didn't say they rescheduled it. They say they straight up canceled it. So this is why, again, a lot of us make a big deal out of this, because there's a domino effect to things. Yes, toys may cost you more, but so do other things. And if people are not out there shopping, the dominoes keep falling. Now that person doesn't have a job. Now that business doesn't get their rush. Now it just continues. It continues. So I still, am hopeful that things will reverse by the time we get to the Halloween season. But at the same time, companies are shipping their stuff now for fall. Like that stuff should already be on boats coming this way. And it's not, which is insane. So if they could not pull this off, let me just share screen again. If they could not pull it off at this moment to be ready for that event, which when he posted this video, here it is. August 1st. So 3 months out, just about, we'll say. They couldn't get their stuff in time to be ready for an event 3 months out from now. So it's going to keep pushing. It's going to keep pushing. Ultra Carta says, why am I struggling with your name today? Ultra Carta says, I buy their fake blood in which I use for my photography on my action figures like WWE. Yeah. I buy a lot of their stuff, not just Ghostbusters things. I buy, fake blood and all that. So, we'll see what ends up happening with all this. As far as they go, they say they're still on track to open up their 1,500 stores, but again, they're saying on track. They're not saying confirmed. So, it's one thing to be able to secure the leases, right? Those temporary leases, but it's another thing to have nothing to fill the store with. And if people are not spending like that anyway, now you're double in trouble. You have limited stock and you have people who are not out there dropping coin. So a lot of layers to that. We'll see what happens. I wanted to do a follow-up on something we did talk about on Tuesday, which is Diamond Select Toys. So let me go back over to, should have had this ready. I apologize. Here we go. So we were talking about this story from Ghostbusters News where they, them, Mega J Retro, myself, we were some of the few that were talking about the Diamond Select Toys issue that I saw. And then once it was official that they had filed and were purchased, that's when a couple more outlets I saw start kind of talking about it. But we discussed it on Tuesday, RIP to them. And I mentioned how this could be an opportunity for other companies to come around and start scooping them up and scooping up companies like this to help themselves out. And that there's a couple of names that we had still not really heard from. One of them, of course, being NECA. So it turns out, shout out to somebody in the comment section of the video that dropped. The company that owns NECA is the company that bought out Diamond Selects. AD, I'm not sure, Populum. So I found their website. This was also not the easiest thing to find as far as like who even runs this company. Like I found the website pretty fast, but like finding out like who's there, like there's not really, they don't have like a family tree or anything. Even when I go to the about section, it's just down here. But this company, Ad Populum, is the umbrella company to NECA. And as you can see, they actually own a couple other collector companies. Kid Robot, WizKids, Rubies, Party City, RIP. And then, of course, Graceland. So the guy who runs this is apparently this dude, Joel Wineshaker. I haven't watched this yet. I just pulled this up. He talks about owning Graceland, which I was like, maybe I found the wrong person when I looked him up. But then again, I came back to the website, scrolled down. I was like, oh, he owns Graceland. So let's watch the beginning of this, and maybe we'll get a view into not only who purchased Diamond Select Toys and chose not to continue with them, or maybe pause, but also who is the person that owns NECA, like above the people who run NECA.
Production funding for Behind the Headlines is made possible in part by the WKNO Production Fund, the WKNO Endowment Fund.
Rick Barnes with the Daily Memphian. Thanks for joining us. I am joined tonight by Joel Weinshaker, the managing partner of Elvis Presley Enterprises. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Along with Bill Dries, reporter with the Daily Memphian. So thank you for doing this. It's great. You've been involved with, I think it's late 2013, we were talking a little bit before the show, that you and your group have been involved with.
A little over 5 years.
A little over 5 years. So all kinds of things to walk through. But I want to start really kind of big picture and generally. And I mean, a kind of goofy question, but I'm going to ask it. What is Graceland now? What is Elvis Presley Enterprises? And how is it different in Memphis than outside? Because there's the, Memphians, I think, tend to think of Graceland and as the house. But it's become much more, which we'll talk about. But outside of Memphis, what is it? Because you're from New York and got involved in this and got involved in all kinds of different things. So talk about that difference of the perceptions and realities of Graceland in its biggest sense.
It's the second most visited private home in America, the White House being the first. And I think the difference is that I think more people from Chicago.
I will raise that. Thank you. I was thinking the volume might be a little low because of the replay I was watching the other day. So thank you, Kathy. You're the best.
Chicago would come to Graceland than people from Memphis. And we're actually trying to change that because, it is the center of pop culture in the world. We get tens of thousands of visitors from Australia, tens of thousands of visitors from the United Kingdom. And these people stay in Memphis 7, 10, 12, 14 days. So what we're doing is really trying to make this become a longer destination because, before we got involved, it was a stopover on going to somewhere else, going to Disney, going to New Orleans, going to the beach in Panama City. And what we've really done, even in the last 3 years, is we've added 300,000 nights additional for people who are coming into Memphis specifically for Graceland, but then staying over. So instead of the hop over to Nashville, the hop over somewhere else, we're making Graceland, we're making Memphis that destination. So it really has become, everything that was great in America after World War II. If you think about, pop culture really started in America right after World War II by a small number of people who were, they weren't old enough to have served in the military, but they were born before the start of World War II. And they really created something that is beloved worldwide. When people say they love America, they're really talking about pop culture.
Yeah. The Graceland itself now in the broadest.
Funny hearing him talk about that. This came out when? This was 2019. It looks older than 2019, doesn't it? But hearing him talk about that, and we just came off talking about the Spirit Halloween thing, and shout out to Patrick in the house. Good to see you. We're talking about the Spirit Halloween thing and how there's a domino effect to people visiting a place and contributing to the income of that place. Same thing applies here to going to a place like Graceland. But this guy seems like he's very much a pop culture fan. That's his jam. And that's why he and his company purchased Graceland. So it makes sense that somebody like that who has that kind of mentality would also want to be in the collector game to a certain extent. I would assume maybe as like a partner or something, but owning all of these, again, when you hear him talk, that makes sense. That makes sense. What happens when I hit this? I just go straight to the website. All right. I'm wondering if I go here on the website, if they even show mention of them. The NECA group of companies includes game developer. So founded in 1996, the inception of the toy division in 2002. NECA is known for our detail, blah, blah, blah. Yep. Based out of Jersey. Yep. And same, yeah, it's the same page. Yeah, so I mean that's Oh, it's just product news. It's interesting that that's all connected. So this is where I believe even like a Hasbro will start to go, following a model like this. And they've done it with licenses already. But when you have a situation like the tariffs going on where companies are struggling and having to do layoffs like we saw at Super 7, why wouldn't they at a certain point say, maybe we'll just buy that company strictly in the sense of being a larger umbrella company to them? You get to keep your name, keep your branding. We switch out some of the people who run it, but for all intents and purposes, you're still you. So in the case of Super 7, you're still Super 7, but really Hasbro's the one that makes money on it. You're still McFarlane, but Hasbro still makes money on it. It all kind of starts coming together. And I know a lot of times this seems, like I'm talking out of my butt, but then we get examples like this where it's like, it's already been happening. It's already been happening where you see a company and you think they're operating on their own, but really they're part of a larger company. Same thing with, I was gonna say Funko, but Mondo, right? So if I go to the Mondo website, and I go to, I don't see, their website seems very much just about their Mondo department. Let's see if I just type it in, who owns Mondo? So Funko. There you go. So we already kind of knew this, but I was wondering if maybe there's another company involved here that I'm not aware of. And Funko I kind of answered my own question thinking about it because Funko does trade on the stock market as their own company. So Funko, yes, owns Mondo. And actually, just to hit on that one real quick, if I go over here, Funko stock, if we're going to go back to talking about the domino effect of things, they've been taking hits already. We've already seen the slowdown in Funko Pops coming out, and a lot of us are not collecting them anymore like we used to. But things may even change on the Mondo side because Mondo falls underneath the umbrella of Funko. And who knows, maybe they start to reprioritize things, right? Maybe it's Funko in name, but Funko Pops aren't the bread and butter. But you got to think the profit margin on the profit margin on a Funko Pop is probably way higher than a profit margin on a Mondo. You definitely spend less money on R&D and making the damn thing. So I don't know. We get, shit rolls downhill. And we've seen that already with certain companies, but you might start to see it more over here with some of the toys that we do like that, are a little bit more costly that we think operate on their own, but really they're tied to somebody else. Rick James, Dave in the house. Once again, Patrick in the house too. Good to see you both. Nerd affiliated toys, the new umbrella for Super 7 and much more. If I ran a toy company, well, first of all, I wouldn't do it. I've mentioned this before. I think running a toy company is a real dumb idea. It's fun in theory, and you get a chance to play with licenses and create things you never had or you always wanted. You get your vision out there to make something. But I would, if I had a chance, I would freaking J.J. Abrams the thing. Like I would make a toy company and then sell it off as soon as I can and not attempt to finish a story. Because with toys, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like you fight tooth and nail to get a license. And let's say you get the license of Ninja Turtles. You make the 4 brother figures based on whatever the movie or TV show you're trying to reference, and then you're kind of done. You're kind of done. Like you can make other things, right? Like you can make the April O'Neil like we saw the other day with NECA. You can make the 2003 cartoon Turtles, but those are going to be your highest sellers, the main characters of whatever franchise you own. Everything else, if it costs you just the same amount of money, if not more, to make those than it does the main characters, you're guaranteed not going to sell as much as you do the main characters. Guaranteed. That's why I don't understand why a lot of these companies don't do the army building packs like with a discount, because you know that anybody who collects, they mainly want the main characters. But if there's something like G.I. Joe, if there's something like Ninja Turtles, like with the foot soldiers and with the Cobra fighters, like, you know that the main characters need to fight somebody. So why not mass produce the background characters, the army building type characters, like mass produce them, sell them at a discount, because people are going to see that it's on discount and be like, oh, it's worth more of my money, and they'll buy more volume. Like, I don't know why they don't do that. I really need to get a toy producer on here to ask that question. But I think I think with any of these companies, you'd be screwed. You know, like not every day you get a scenario like WWE, right? Like, that's a crazy license to have, because not only is it forever relevant, like the viewership just keeps increasing. Your fan base keeps expanding. So every time a kid grows up and becomes a kidult and has their own kids, they're bringing a new generation into watching that, having their fandom grow around a new wave of talent. And now you can sell toys to the adult and the kid. You don't have that with a lot of other franchises. Like, I mean, I'm trying to think. I don't even, like, maybe Star Wars, you get something like that. But not with that kind of passion. Not like wrestling. Not at all. Dada says Lego makes battle packs for troopers for army building. Yeah. I don't know why more don't do that. I was excited when Hasbro announced that they were doing army builders, but then they priced them just like a regular figure. It makes no sense to me. I don't get it. So I wish more companies would do it and really factor in a heavy discount. I haven't been on the Hasbro outlet in a while. Let's take a look and see if there's anything on there worth note. Over here, outlet. No, still kind of the same old. They haven't done an outlet sale in a while, or a warehouse sale. Yeah. Wow, I can hear the wind going out there. It's crazy. Yeah. Something I didn't actually talk about that I should have, speaking of Hasbro and you know, even talking about Ghostbusters. Gonna head over to Ghostbusters news right now. Where are you? Does that much news come out in the last couple days? Oh, here it is. So I mentioned on Tuesday, as a reminder, we'll be going down to New York City for Ghostbusters Day. And we got a announcement from the Buffalo Ghostbusters, actually. We'll go over here, noting that the Haslab team will be going down for Ghostbusters Day once again. They went down last year, and that's when they announced the Haslab. They are bringing that Haslab this year so people can see the prototype. They also announced and showed off the 4-pack of the, I almost said Turtles, the 4-pack of the Busters in their VHS box. But this year, there's going to be an exclusive product reveal. So what will that be? Will it be a new Haslab. Oh man, sorry. Will it be a new Haslab? Will it be a new wave of figures? We don't know. We don't know. I've got my thoughts. I am not the first to say what my opinion is, so people may think I'm copying others. I swear you I'm not. It's something I thought about. I think it could be 4 more Busters to go with the upcoming Haslab. I think something I talked about when we were discussing the Haslab was we didn't get khaki suited Ghostbusters 2 figures. We've not had those yet. So I wouldn't be surprised if that is an announcement that we're going to get the khaki suited Ghostbuster 2 Ghostbusters to go with your Haslab outside of the Navy ones that we're getting with the Haslab. I say we as I'm getting one. I unfortunately didn't get the cut. But yeah, read again. It says product reveals, not reveal, plural. No, I don't have details, but don't miss out. There you go. I mean, you guys know I keep saying you guys a lot. I'm sorry. That's one of my like filler words, filler phrases. You guys, let me see if I have it here. I've had a dream for the longest time, and I'm hoping that if there's another Haslab, it's not even a Haslab. It's just it's a new style of Haslab where they're just like, we're opening the pre-orders. You know, you can order it, and then if you get it, you get it. When did I post this picture? I feel like it's around here somewhere. I feel like it's around here. I feel it because I was building my pack, I think, when I had the concept for it. I'm not seeing it. Damn. Anyway, I'll keep. Oh, here it is. This is what I want. This is what I want. And I'm hoping at some point we get it. And I think this would be the perfect time to do it. So back last year, February, as I was building my pack, I was, looking at reference photos and stuff for pictures and whatnot. And when they announced the Haslab, this was one of the renders they showed. And I said to myself, they should do that. Like, they should release a Proton Pack that's bare bones. Maybe not gray, you can make it black, but bare bones. And to even save themselves money, you can gut the thing out. Essentially, you sell us a Proton Pack with no electronics. Make it Ghostbusters 1, so you don't need the extra copper wires. You don't need the thong bumper from the newest movie. Like, just Ghostbusters 1, straight black Proton Pack, knowing that people will go and modify it. Like, go into it with that idea, which they already have acknowledged, especially with the 2 in the box. They were like, we know people are going to mod it. That's why we've done X, Y, and Z to it. So I think this would be a great idea. I think this will be a great, not necessarily old school Haslab, but the newer style they've been doing, where it's just an open pre-order. Put your dollars down. When it's done, we ship it to you. Boom. I think that'd be great. Because I personally want one just so I can have the bumper come off. I think that's the number one thing I don't have. I could modify my current full size to do it, but I kind of rather have this and then put my own electronics in if I could possibly do that. Now, I know there's toy laws out there that prohibit them from doing certain things as a toy company. And one of them, I feel like it might be that they can't sell this unless it's like functional. Like, it has to also pass as a toy, I think. Again, I would love to have somebody from Hasbro on so I can ask like these kinds of like licensing questions. But I've seen this come up with other things where they're like, not necessarily Hasbro, but where they're like, oh, we have to sell it this way because technically we're a toy company, or we have to market it this way or do whatever because as a company, we're filed as a toy company. laws like that kind of stuff. So I don't know if they can necessarily sell it without electronics, but if they could, to save the money, I would go for that. Totally go for that. Now, again, the tariff things really throws wrenches. Because everything now is going to cost you more. It's going to cost you more. I'll catch up with the comments in a second, but this is also my thing now. I hold on to the armrest and I go like this. Stop it. Sit still. Concentrate. A company like Spirit Halloween, we know they have a lot of runway with their markups based on what we pay for things when they're on clearance. And especially knowing that there's a deeper clearance if you work there than what we pay. But, I think a company like Spirit Halloween, it's a great opportunity for them to drop a bare bones thing. Their full-size pack already is pretty bare bones. I feel like Spirit Halloween is the company that could make an RGB pack and drop that. But they also might be the company that could make a brand new full-size that has a removable bumper, but we know it's going to be pretty light and pretty bare bones. Where Hasbro, they put so much into the first wave or the first Proton Pack, maybe they would feel some kind of way about removing features and removing details and removing paint apps. Maybe that's a harder pill for them to swallow. I don't know. We also don't have any new Ghostbusters stuff coming up right now. Like, we don't have anything. So maybe that's another one where it's like, it's a hard sell on their finance side to be like, hey, we want to make a new Proton Pack. Great. Is there a movie or a TV show? Yeah, they're kind of working on a TV show. Okay. Are they or are they not? I don't know. Kind of. No. Like those kind of things, those kind of conversations happen. So, Spirit and Hasbro, you guys know what I want. Give us an RGB. Cutthroat in the house. Good to see you. I feel like I haven't seen you on stream in a while. Tony, also, I've not seen you on stream in a while. Welcome back. Hey, sorry I'm late and I haven't been around lately. Been working. Hey, make that money. Make that money. Tell us the dream. That was the dream. I'm telling you, man. You have great photos of your Ghostbusters Proton Pack. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Good idea. I'd get to. Oh, sorry. Yep. How much would they charge for us a bare bones Ghostbusters Proton Pack? Yeah, they're announcing things this year. Yep. So right now, when I go to the Spirit website, the full size at full price goes to, my wife's asking me, can I slide the paint under the door? I don't know what that means. What? Are the paints on your desk? What paint? There's no paint. Just open the door at this point. I guess not. There's no paint in here. What paint? Anyway, what was I saying before I was distracted? Oh. Paint by numbers. The paper? Yep. Anyway, full-size Proton Pack is $250 with electronics that you still need to heavily modify. So I don't know. I would, if I was Hasbro, I would do a bare bones for probably the same price, because you're getting a harder shell. The shell of the Haslab is definitely thicker than the Spirit one. So I would tell people, the way I would market it if I was them is you're getting a better quality pack with the removable bumper. And yeah, that's what I would do. But if I was Spirit, I would even make a cheaper, even less detailed, more bare bones Spirit pack and charge $150 for it. Just me. I feel like the law was like, it has to be operational. Whatever it is you release, if it's a toy. You can't release it and be like, oh, it won't work unless you do blank. And if you do have to assemble it, you need like all the pieces with it. Something like that. I'm a good partner. Yeah, that just happened. Yeah. I don't know. Yep. Got to fit through the smallest crack. Yeah. Dave said I'm 3D printing from scratch, but I will admit a Spirit pack full scale is cheaper, but I can customize mine. So that is the, that's the kicker, right? That's the kicker is, and let's go check out Dave's channel. Let's switch over here. Where you at, Dave? Where you at? Where you at? There we go. So Dave's Dimension, which, by the way, in case you guys are not following, there you go. Dave's Dimension is printing his own pack. He is currently building a Flux pack in honor of Back to the Future. So you can follow him and see all the updates here online. He's been posting some videos as well. He made here a gold bumper or gold shock mount and put Mr. Fusion on it instead of the screw that normally goes there, or the bolt that normally goes there. There you go. There's one version there. So this is where, to Dave's point, it can get expensive, right? Like if you're trying to print with a purpose, it's fine, but you start to get ideas, and to his point, you start to modify, and then the printing starts to add up. But it looks great. I mean, look at it. It looks awesome. And he's just printing that on his own. Now, once your 3D print operation is going, you don't spend as much money because you already have the printer. You maybe have the filament. So you're spending the time just making it, and then, of course, sanding it and painting it and all that stuff. But at the same time, you're getting exactly what you want. You know, Dave's printing this thing out right there. So I don't know. I get torn with the 3D printing. I really want to get into it. Really want to start doing it. Just don't have the funds right now to do it. But then again, buying a 3D printer versus the cost of buying a Proton Pack, I could have had like 3 Proton Packs, you know, as time goes on. Looks sweet. Yep. I'd never give up my Haslab pack. Yeah, the Haslab pack is good. Very clever, cool mashup. Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to see it finished. Cannot wait. Let's actually go over here to Dave's channel. wind outside is crazy right now. Trying to see, when did you show the
light here, right? You have a light down here, and then you have a light up here. So those are 4 separate lights.
This is the
I
wand.
still have to get the hat lenses for them. And then we have our switches here. These switches are what I mentioned before. There is a toggle switch that will play the Ghostbusters theme automatically, or whatever song I put in its place. Who knows, maybe Back to the Future or Double Back. And then the other 2 switches are toggle switches that you use to turn the wand on, and then to fully arm it depending on what modes you're using for. And then, of course, we have our lovely trigger, which I'm going to use standard plastics, okay? So, with that being said, give it enough stress and enough, enough wear and tear, it can cause some real damage at times, okay? Now, there is what's known as PETG, P-E-T-G. It is more of a stronger plastic. It's more durable. And if you have a lot of high temperatures, it's definitely the way to go is to use PETG, okay? PETG, it's stronger. It'll hold better in temperature. As far as some of the finer points, like, here. Just to show you guys, this is the tube I'm going to use. It fits on there perfectly. I just have to bond it at a later point in time. But when it comes to 3D printing, there is a wealth of knowledge on YouTube, guys. You can check out if you want more.
Yeah. So that's the thing I love about it, is that you truly can just make whatever it is you're trying to make. Super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Got to save up for a 3D printer first. Yeah. How heavy is your Haslab Proton Pack? Not a question for me because I don't have one. I'll leave it for the rest of the group. But I can confirm that the Haslab weighs more than a Spirit Pack. That's for sure. I haven't actually put on a Haslab pack. Anthony has one. Steve has one. Louis has one. I'm the only one in the group that doesn't have one. But I remember at Comic-Con, like, just kind of lifting the pack a little bit as Anthony was wearing it. And I was like, wow, this thing's hefty. Yeah, Mr. Fusion on top is going to be awesome. And then if Dave is streaming on Friday, yeah. Now, one other thing that I saw today was this here. So Ecto 1 and J posted this photo here with Creative Geekery. And that's them with Ramus there. Why am I drawing a blank on dude's name? Not Ramus, sorry. Oh my God. Help me out. The guy who's making Ghostbusters now, because the guy's son. I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on this. Dave's yelling at me right now. Anyway, Ecto 1 NJ guys were out there in California at Ghost Core, and Jason Reitman, thank you. That's right, Tony's also one of us. One of us. One of us. So they were out there at Ghost Core checking out some cars. So I don't know. Is this in relation to Ghostbusters Day? Is there something coming up with that? I don't know. So I know they helped out with the Haslab. I know that Greg, the Ecto 1A, helped out with the Haslab. So could this be related to that? I don't know, but I feel like that thing's already getting produced at this point. So maybe there is something new happening over there. We'll see. The stock Haslab, mine was 15 pounds. Cool. Captain Honey Badger, I think this is your first time in the chat. Welcome. Thanks for letting me know, Dave. There you go. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot Reitman's name. Shame on me. But let's take a look at the 1A as well. Our friend Greg over there. Greg is doing the Lord's work. Yeah, first time on stream. Oh, awesome. Love that. You know what? To you, first time on.
More specifically, vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. So Greg over here builds out the 1A. He took that down to HQ this week. I got to see this thing in person. I got to get out there and see this thing in person. Got to make it a thing. This is when he brought it down the first time to HQ. We had the drone up in the air for this. I'm telling you, I really get torn on which one's better between the 1 and the 1A. I love the lights of the 1A. But I love the... I don't know. I like the almost simpleness of the 1 as well. But, oh yeah, here you can see Greg was out there looking at the Haslab back when they were putting it together, or revealing it, I should say. He was part of that team. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's see what happens with Ghostbusters Day. Let's see what the reveal is. Are you guys in line with what I was talking about? Like, do you think it would be a 4-pack? I keep wanting to say of the brothers. You think it's going to be a 4-pack of the Ghostbusters 2 guys, or are we feeling it is a Proton Pack? Something else? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? I was trying to find another picture. I don't think I saved it. Ah, well. The 1A is more flashy, but the Ecto 1 is where it's at. It's so simple, so beautiful. Yeah. The fact that drones can fly in NY is a gift of videography. That's for sure. That's for sure. I think it will be something else. 4-pack of the Ghosts. Being that I missed the last 2 Haslabs, I'm hoping for a really cool Haslab, LOL. But I think it'll be a 4-pack. Yeah. Yeah, I skipped out on the car. I am torn. Actually, yeah, in case you guys forgot, this is what I was looking for. So Greg, who created the 1A, Greg is the one that got us in to see the 2 in the box early. So we were able to get one of our reviews out. And it's funny, thinking back to when everybody was bitching about, the influencers getting it first. I was also bitching about it because even though Rambling Nerd is part of the team, he still got to see the 2 in the box before I did. I was like, damn, freaking influencers. But meanwhile, like, we're trying to be influencers too. Oh man. What a time. What a time to be alive. I mean, even the when everybody was complaining about the shipping times, including myself. What a time to be alive. What a time. But yeah, I don't know. I really wanted this. But the thing is, downstairs now, at the time I didn't have it downstairs. When the Haslab was announced and rolling, I didn't have this house that I live in now. I was actually at a wedding when it was announced. That was my Friday and that was my Saturday. But when this was announced, it was way under what I thought it would be. Because we all knew it was going to be an Ecto 1. Right, from Ghostbusters Day. We knew it was going to be an Ecto 1. Way under the cost I thought it would be. And I really, really thought about getting it. I fought myself on it. But the problem was, I didn't have downstairs like I do now. But even though I have downstairs at the moment, I still have a bunch of vehicles that are in boxes. And I don't have as much space as I would like to display something like this. I'd use it for a couple photos, but then after that, I'm like, I don't know what else I would do with it. So I beat myself up for not getting it, but then at the same time, I'm like, I don't know where I would put it. And then there's, of course, the battle of 1A versus 1. So, thank you, Dave, for sharing the link once again to the Buffalo Ghostbusters. Make sure you guys follow them. The Buffalo Ghostbusters are the ones that organize everything. So shout out to them. Also shout out to Great Scott Prop Shop, who helped Anthony make his Proton rifle. So yeah, if you're not following us over here on the Real Nerdbusters, make sure you do so. There's Greg once again. And meeting some of you guys. This was cool. This happened at Ghostbusters Day as well, but it happened at New York Comic Con. If you see us, come up and say hello. It's always fun running into you guys and you know, you guys shouting us out from like watching our videos, or you guys talking to us in the various message boards or the Facebook groups or whatever. Like, always come up, say hello. Don't be bashful. What do you think about the Super 7 letter that they put out about laying people off because of the tariffs? Yeah, so we talked about it on Tuesday. We did a surprise stream on Tuesday, and it came up. Buffalo Soldiers, yeah, let's go. Tony has 2 Ectos. Are you ordered 2 of the Ectos? Nice. Got to have the 1 and the 1A. Yeah, so Cutthroat, we talked about it on Tuesday, and since then, I feel like my opinion hasn't really changed. Did I not make a post about it? I don't think I did. I got to release my Instagram post about it. I made a short, and I didn't post about it. I just realized. So just to kind of recap it here. And since then, things have come out. I've watched videos where people were talking about the Super 7 layoffs, and my opinion remains kind of the same, especially after hearing people talk about it, which is I believe it's real. Like, I believe them going through the hard time around the tariffs and having to make those decisions and being like, it's you or it's us. We got to do what we got to do to keep the company afloat. Like, I believe that's very real because of tariffs. What I did see on the 3POA podcasts, I've never actually watched them, but Toy Gains always reshares their stuff. And when I saw they talked about it, I was like, oh, let me just see what somebody else has to say that I've never listened to before. The 3POA guys said that a source told them, somebody who used to work there who was laid off, that the people who remain are working 4 days a week versus 5. They're having Fridays off, and they all took like a 20% pay cut, or 25%, 20 to 25, something like that. So I believe that the tariff things affecting them is very real. But also after watching that bit from their show and then watching other people talk about it, I think what I said holds true. Super 7 effed around for so long, making everybody feel some kind of way about the prices and the reaction figure prices. I was even thinking about with Thundercats, Snarfer and Snarf, right? Like them being priced the same as Mumra or Lionel. Like, they effed around with the pricing for so long, it left a bad taste in people's mouths. And when something like this happens, it's like crying wolf. You want to feel bad, but then you're like, but is it legit? And unless you start digging, you're going to just assume they're just messing with me again. And it also didn't help. It also did not help that Super 7 put the tariff surcharges on their in-stocked items. That did not help at all. So I feel like, once again, 2 days later after thinking about it, and as we talked about the whole Diamond Select thing then, and we talked about it a bit today, I feel like Super 7 is ripe for the purchase. I feel like somebody's going to come in, scoop that shit up, right up. And if I was them, I would probably keep the Super 7 banner. I'd probably leave Brian there, but be like, hey, we're adding some levels to the authorization of you making some figures, If I was anybody, I'd be Hasbro. It'd be me. It'd be. I think. Oh man. If I was a company to buy them, who would I be? I feel like it would make more sense for a Mattel to buy them, because then Super 7 could help you with cartoon molds of, like your Barbie stuff. And I think Hasbro's too... I think Hasbro would rip them apart too much. Hasbro would gut them too much. Maybe the company that owns NECA could have done it, but considering the Diamond Selects thing fell through, maybe not. Maybe not. Oh, damn, it's on life support. I'm not getting that 03 wave. You're not. So, going down the list here. Do I think Hasbro can buy out Super 7? They could. They have the money to do that. But would they? I don't think so. I think if anything, if I'm greedy Hasbro, I love my Hasbro stuff. So please invite me to things, Hasbro. But if I'm greedy Hasbro, I let them burn, and then I hire up people from their team to do stuff with us, if anything. If I'm greedy Hasbro. If I'm long-term Hasbro, I buy them. I still make them close their stores, and or maybe I close at least one store. But at that point, I have them start mixing in some Wizards of the Coast stuff. I use them maybe as a tester for brick and mortar dedicated to Hasbro. But I do it with a light supply. I don't do a whole bunch. I try to keep it boutique like they've done. So yeah, if I was Hasbro, good guy Hasbro, I would buy Super 7, keep the name, keep one store, keep a decent amount of the team. I'd probably get rid of the marketing because I'd have my own as Hasbro. And then I would run their store as a tester to see if I can do direct to consumer myself with brick and mortar. That's what I would do. Aimed at the kidult collector, not kids. That would be my test. Next down the list was Mondo Funko. I don't think they're in a position to do it. I think it would make sense for them to do it, but they're not in a position right now. Their stock is I'm not going to say all-time low. We looked at it earlier. It's pretty damn low. So Funko owns Mondo. Funkos are not doing well as far as Funko Pops go. Mondo doesn't do gangbusters as far as I understand. So they're not in a position to do that. It would have made sense, though, if they were at peak Funko popularity. It would have made sense. Now it doesn't make sense. McFarlane, I don't think it's in his best interest to do it. McFarlane, he runs that ship pretty tight, to my understanding. Bringing in a new company like Mondo or like Super 7, I don't think he would see a value in it, because if anything, Super 7's on equal playing field with him, where they're just struggling to keep licenses at this point. And buying Super 7 wouldn't give him any new licenses. If anything, he probably would lose money on that, because he probably has more licenses. Like, he might have a license or two more, but even then, they were probably bidding on the same stuff. So I don't think that happens. Playmates, Playmates, maybe, if they are like really going to make a run for adults. The Power Ranger line seems like an intro into wanting to get some adults to buy some Playmate things, where right now we don't. I don't know. You guys let me know if there's a Playmate item I'm not thinking of that adults buy, but if I was Playmates, sure. We can get some alignment there. There's the new Power Ranger line. Get some of the Super 7 team to help make the Power Ranger line. I would then, of course, again, dump the retail, dump most of their team, keep some of their sculptors, You could probably dump some of their marketing team, that kind of stuff. But once again, if you're Playmates and you're buying them, you're doing it to get their licenses. And like, is Playmates trying to make, Diamond Head, King Diamond figures or Motorhead figures? Not really. So if anything, you just want their talent. So if I'm bad guy Playmate, I wait for them again to start to burn. They've already laid off some of their artists. At that point, I acquire them. Hey, you want a job? I'm going to lowball you because you don't have work. Thank you, Cutthroat. Tony said, Wizards swore that they would never open a brick and mortar. For sure. But if you can double it up as a tester, one of the things I mentioned the other day was some companies will use retail as a marketing tool, and it comes out the marketing budget. So if you only have one store or two stores, and you keep it at that, I'll put some Magic the Gathering stuff in there. Just see what happens. And then, but it depends on the leases as well. You want to see what the lease agreements are. Are they in the middle of a lease, beginning of a lease? How much is it to break the lease? Is it worth our time? I don't know. The other thing to consider is the tariff stuff. Because I think at this point, we will have to revert back. There's no other way. All that's been proven right now, based on what companies are doing, is we're not bringing these jobs back here. It's just not going to happen. People can hope and pray for it, but if we're already complaining about the cost of figures while they're being imported from China, you're definitely not going to buy American-made figures. So that goes for a lot of products in America. And what we've seen with a lot of companies is they are now rerouting their merchandise through other countries to get around the tariffs that are specifically tied to China. So this stuff's not coming back. It never will come back unless we can somehow automate making figures here. It ain't coming back. So a lot of these companies, when it comes to buying up other companies, you're at this point, you're buying it like a stock and you're going to hold it like a stock, hoping that you can get the license, doing what you got to do bare minimum to get the license. But if you're already on the ropes financially, you don't have the money to gamble like that. You're just going to let it go. So I feel like with that ad company that owns NECA, that bought Diamond Select Toys, at this point, the deal's done, but that's why they're not doing anything with it. Because they're like, there's no point spending the money. Do you think the current Diamond Select pre-orders will get to consumers after the fall of Diamond Selects? I don't think so. I mentioned it in the comment section to the guy who was commenting this morning. Do you guys remember when blind boxes were popping off? And then the blind boxes eventually stopped. The company started going under. People stopped getting the merch. All those pre-orders they had, they faded away. So that's probably going to happen here. Tony said, MTG is printed in America, so Hasbro is safe if Wizards is one of the biggest sellers. Correct. Magic the Gathering is made here. Anything that's print-based can be done here. That seems to be pretty easy for all of them. I mean, hell, my merch that you can buy on nerdaffiliated.com is made in America as far as when the screen printing's done. The shirts are sourced internationally, but the shirts are all brought into the U.S., and then the U.S. company is the one that screen prints them, Printful. They screen print the clothes, package it, ship it. That's all, U.S. based. So, if anything, that's, again, if they were trying to do this in a way that we actually are trying to bring jobs back, then they would have worded things where they abide by the concept of assembled in America counting as made in America. You could bring in the raw material, you could bring in the pieces, but assembly has to happen here. most of it has to happen here, and we'll give you a tax break for it or something. You know, like that's really that'd be your only option. But the way it was done was not meant to help anybody. That outside of the rich who would come in and buy companies that are suffering. That's all this is. People refuse to acknowledge that this is being done to like hurt people. They just refuse to believe it. I don't understand. Don't understand. But all right. It is after 9:30, so I believe we are done. I didn't get a chance to talk box office, so let's just take a quick look as a reminder to see what's coming out this weekend. Again, if you guys can, leave a thumbs up. I always forget to say that in the streams. Leave a thumbs up. To whoever left a thumbs down, shout out to you. Hopefully I know who you are. It'd be great. We'll continue to thumbs down together. This weekend, we have Mission Impossible coming out. And, oh, they added Secret Wars to the list here. They added an untitled Pixar, untitled Disney animation. So Doomsday got pushed back, and Secret Wars got pushed back. There you go. Interesting. Coming out this weekend, we have Mission Impossible, and we also have Lilo and Stitch. The Protector. Don't know what that is. Yeah, I don't know what that is. So that is tomorrow, the 23rd. Yeah. So you got a battle going on here. You got a battle here. Lilo and Stitch and Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible still going to do well. Is it going to end up dethroning Sinners, Thunderbolts, and Final Destination? Don't know. Minecraft's still going strong as well. I'm not hearing great reviews about Mission Impossible, by the way. So we'll see. Lilo and Stitch will do great. Yeah, I agree. If Minecraft can do great, Lilo and Stitch will do great. How's Sinners doing? Checking in on that. Sinners is at 322 worldwide. Again, internationally, not going to do well. But it's more than made its money back. Thunderbolts is at 331. So Thunderbolts ended up passing Sinners. Is Thunderbolts profitable yet? Let's see, 331. Thunderbolts needed 360. So they're coming close. They're going to pass it. Thumbs down is a type of energy muster from deep down, but gotta appreciate the +1 view. Agreed. I'm gonna watch Lilo, but I gotta recap Mission Impossible. I think IGN dropped their video today. They normally do this, everything you need to know about Mission Impossible so far or whatever. Let's definitely check that out. I bet Lilo and Stitch will do better than the shitty Snow White movie. I think everybody's gonna do better than that movie. As a cancer, I'm guilty of going into videos just to drop thumbs down. I'm ever so inclined. I get joy out of it. So I'll take the interaction. Like you said, it's funny. Back when I started podcasting, I used to tell people leave a thumbs down on my video. And then somebody was like, no, stop. Like the algorithm legit uses that. Like that actually does hurt you. And I was like, oh, didn't realize that. So, I appreciate the thumbs down, but please leave a thumbs up. Hit the bell, share these videos, all that jazz. But we talked a lot today. Patrick, in your honor, I did play the intro. I did play the intro today. The intro will 28 years later. Thank you, Dada. That I was like, there's something else that's supposed to be coming out. What is it? Is that? When is that coming out? Karate Kid's next week, by the way. How do we think Karate Kid's going to do? J-Lo has a movie coming out. Good luck. Dogma re-release is coming out. Ballerina is June 6th. It's crazy they're doing the premiere already. 28 years. Is it this weekend? Why is it not on Box Office Recap or Box Office Mojo? Yeah, and here it says earliest release is June 20th. June 20th. No, it's not this weekend. It's in June. Soon, yeah. Karate Kid will bomb. I think so. Like I said Tuesday, if it was tied to Cobra Kai, maybe. But I think even Cobra Kai kind of lost its luster. So, yeah. All right. That's a wrap. We have a long weekend. I'm excited. Actually got a 4-day weekend. Pretty pumped. I don't think I'm going to be recording anything this weekend, but do I have anything coming up? I don't think so. I don't think I have anything coming up. So, yeah, well, we have Ghostbusters Day, like I said, coming up in June, but nothing coming up on the channel soonish. But that usually changes. I did not pick up the Spirit Halloween Deluxe Spirit Trap. But a Spirit Halloween, hey, if you guys ever want to send me some free stuff, let me know. I got to set up a new P.O. box. I still haven't done that. I'd love that. And Hasbro, you're pretty close to me. There were some Ghostbusters down at Hasbro HQ like 2 weeks ago. Some of the Massachusetts Ghostbusters. I got to get in with that group so I can pay some visits to Hasbro. Hasbro was supposed to, I think, open up in Boston. And I believe that changed. Tariffs. So just that. But yeah, great episode. It was a fun one. Appreciate you guys for being here. I'm telling you, I wish if Man Collects, if you're still in the chat, this has been my desk figure now for about a month. I have been loving this thing. I have been loving this figure. I got to go see if I can get Android. Was it Annihilator? Is that the name of the Cyborg Superman? No. The one with the glasses had a name like that. But whatever Cyborg Superman's name is, I got to see if I can pick that up. The wired cape on this thing really makes a difference. Really makes a difference. So this is in my running right now for Toy of the Year. Just from a fun perspective, just playing with it on the desk. I hate the fact that it's pinned, and I hate I don't have any ties to the head sculpt here. And I feel like it feels cheap at times compared to like a Marvel Legend. But I'm telling you, man, I'll sit here listening to a work call or doing a Eradicator, thank you, or a training or something, or sitting here at lunch, and I'm just here like fidgeting with it and just like putting them in cool poses. Just yeah. I'm shocked, man. Toddy Mac on his way out. He got me. On his way out, he got me. But hey, I appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate you guys watching. Again, if you're watching the replay, make sure you hit a thumbs up on this video. Hit the bell to get notified, because I've been, I go live every so often. We just pop up in your stream around that 8:15 mark. But at the bare minimum, we'll be here next Thursday, 8:15-ish p.m. here on Nerd Affiliated. That's right, we're therapy for each other, as Dada likes to say. We'll have some more videos. Why did I do that so many times? Sorry about that. We'll have more videos coming out, dropping more shorts, trying to be more active on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. Make sure you guys join the Facebook group, by the way, Nerd Affiliated. I think I updated the link down below, but I would appreciate that if you guys could follow that group. We're on Threads as well, Nerd Affiliated. Trying to grow everywhere. We're moving. We're trying to move. I appreciate all of you. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Talk to all you nerds in the next video. Peace. I'm out of here.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.